Greetings, travelers, and welcome to episode 39 of WesterosCraft Walks with your always adventurous host, Dutch Guard. In today's episode, we will finally be stepping out into the Stormlands, that seventh kingdom that we have yet to explore. Here we are in one of the mountain ranges of the Stormlands, which is stretched all the way up from Dorne, and it's changed from its red textures to its brownish red clay colors here, which is just beautiful and suit the area so well. And once we pass through this mountain range here, we'll be exploring the lands of House Peasebury and their castle Poddingfield. Just going along this pass here, you can see some springs that are feeding into this lake, which will form into streams and rivulets all the way down to the rivers of the Reach. And it's just an amazing sort of terraforming job that the builder has done here, and I'll just let it speak for itself through the video, but it is really a wonder to behold in terms of the terraforming, the water features, the forestry. It's all very expertly done. So just heading down this mountain pass, we can see some watchtowers here to my left and right. Just going up here, we're going to check out one of these holdfasts, and it is a knightly holdfast of House Peasebury, and this knight has been charged with the protection of the Poddingfield lands and the protection of this pass from the southeastern Stormlands out into the rest of the Poddingfield and Peasebury lands. So just heading up this path here, crossing over some streams there. We've got a nice little view out into the mountain ranges here, and you can see the range sloping down into the hills and valleys of the northwestern Stormlands, which will eventually even out into the plains of the Reach. Right, so here we are at this little holdfast, which I think is quite cute. It's very nice and a very realistic size for a holdfast, especially one for a knight. It's got a nice little pumpkin patch here. We've got a little shed for storage and that kind of thing. Some meat hanging there to cure as well. And inside here we've got a quaint little kitchen, sitting area, and upstairs I'm guessing we'll have a nice little bed chamber, perhaps some suits of armor hanging about somewhere as well, as this is the holdfast of a knight, probably his squire as well. Anyway, so I was shown around before by the build leader on this build, so he found me a nice little path to explore. So there's this little goat's path heading down the mountain slope here. A goat's path because shepherds will herd their goats through the mountain passes and down these steep slopes into the main village, which we will be exploring shortly. Right, so heading along down here, you can see again some of the lovely terraforming, so the natural and rocky carved out areas of these mountain slopes. Very dangerous, but very beautiful at the same time. You've got these lovely pine trees around us as well. It's sort of dominated by these conifers all around us here, and it just looks very, very beautiful, very wintry, I would say, for the Stormlands. Just crossing under the rope bridge here, you can again see one of those springs and these streams coming down the mountains and through the town below, which we're just about to head into. There's all kinds of things if you travel off the beaten path. I know there's a sept somewhere in the mountains here, probably a few shepherds' huts and traders' posts as well. And so I encourage you to endlessly explore this area. It is one of the most detailed and one of the most engrossing areas I've explored as of yet in Westeros. And which is why I chose this location today to show off the Stormlands for the first time. And here you can see that lovely Stormlands palette being put to good use. It sort of makes use of a darker sandstone texture than what we've seen in Dorne, since we are still close to Dorne. We do use a lot of that sandstone texture here. We've also got this really cool Stormlands block texture, which is made of these darker cobbled bricks. And we've got these mossy Stormlands blocks as well, which I think are quite cool. So just heading along here, you can see this waterfall, which is just led down from this stream we saw earlier, and some clothes being hanging up there to dry or to be washed. And just heading through here, which is sort of this bridge through this little house, just going down the stairs here, we'll eventually find the main export of this town, which is a lumberjack. So he cuts through all these logs to make all these beautiful wooden ceilings, like the ones we've gotten here, and all these beautiful supports and things. Here are the cranes to power this sawmill, which are probably powered by the stream that we saw flowing below. In fact, if I head outside here, we could probably be able to see it. Here are some gates to control the flow of water, and yes, there's a giant water wheel down there below for powering that massive sawmill. So there is a sort of logic to it. It isn't like we just connect one thing here and there and it just all works magically, but we've actually got sort of these pivots here and these gears for turning and twisting these giant arms for powering this sawmill. So that is another really cool feature of this little town. Again, it is a prime example of the Stormlands style architecture. You've got these beautiful wooden roofs, but also these stone walls as well, with these sort of very dominant looking exteriors. Very, very cool for the Stormlands, especially for a defensive town like Poddingfield. Right, so heading right along, we'll see some more of this beautiful forest on our right here. Those beautiful greens and browns that we see all over the Stormlands. As that is sort of the main colors. These mountains will stretch all the way up past Storm's End, and we are quite close to Storm's End. And the Stormlands is a relatively small region when compared to the rest of Westeros, but it is a very strong and powerful region of Westeros. I mean, Robert's Rebellion probably wouldn't have happened if that hadn't been the case. This is what I've been told is an iron mine, a little town formed around an iron mine, which I think is just up this way. And as my policy with mines go, I won't be exploring this mine because I will for sure get lost. But we've probably got some veins of iron through here, which are being tirelessly worked away and then put into these smelters to form these iron ingots. And there's probably a smithy around here, which is making some arms and armor for the soldiers of House Peasebury. Right, so moving right along, we can see that stream that is continuing down from the town. All of it is continues out to the ocean, so if you ever follow any of the streams on their server, you can bet that you can follow it all the way down to the Narrow Sea or the Sunset Sea, which I think is something really cool that we do. We don't have disappearing streams. We make sure that they actually flow somewhere in a logical way. Right, so, which way am I going? Oh, I think I actually went the wrong way, because I need to go around to this other little village. I just got so carried away with all the beautiful trees here and showing off this landscape that I completely lost my way. But that so it goes with sort of the more engrossing areas of Westeros. It's so easy to get lost, but it's always fun to get lost, especially in these videos, just to show you guys what these builds are all about. Right, so just crossing this little stream here, and up into this second part of the town. We've got, looks like some residences up here. Might even be a big inn, or, oh no, I think I know what this is. This is a brewery compound. We've got these beautiful big, sort of these bronze casks for boiling the ale, and making the ale here, and we've probably got a big warehouse full of hops, and all kinds of things that we need for making this beautiful ale to supply the citizens of the Stormlands with the finest ale that Poddingfield can produce. This down here probably leads us to a nice little cellar with all kinds of casks of ale there. Beautiful. So yes, definitely we do have even a dedicated part of our server called the Professions area, where we've explained how each of these places could work, and how if you build a brewery, you need to have a brewing facility and a cellar for storing all of the ale and stuff. And the same goes for farms and for smithies and all that kind of thing. So make sure that everything is on the same level of awesome. These look like the hops fields down here. You can see our custom hops leaves textures there. Very, very cool, of course. Very important for the brewery making ale processes. Which way am I going now? There's just so much to see. I think I need to find the castle, actually. We're looking for Poddingfield. The castle Poddingfield, the seat of House Peasebury in all of its grandeur. I think if I just keep following the road here, I'm going along the right path. Oh, here's one of those marshes I was talking to you about before, and it's got this lovely little hut sticking out of the marsh, and through these really tall blades of grass here. I've got this nice little hut sitting on top of the marshlands here, which are formed probably by that stream that we saw earlier. And so we do sort of pay attention to all these sort of natural things that happen to water when they meet certain parts of the land, and as the mountain slopes are evening out here, and we do sort of get this sort of marshland at the base, the slopes of these mountains, if you will. We have some lovely wild blueberry bushes over here as well, crossing over a little rickety bridge here, and I think I see the castle just rendering between the trees, and that tells me that I'm going the right way. Yes, there it is. And of course, House Peasebury wouldn't be House Peasebury if we didn't have loads and loads of peas growing in these fields below the castle. I really just love the effect that this sort of sloped field has when looking up at the castle. Really makes you consider the name Peasebury when going into the castle. For many of these builds, sometimes the name of the castle or the name of the house that owns it is the only information we really have to go on. And House Poddingfield, or Poddingfield and House Peasebury was no exception to that. There's very, very little information on House Peasebury. So we just sort of went, well, you know what? There's a giant bean sprout on their sigil, so let's just plant peas everywhere. So that's what we did. We've got some wheat fields as well, of course, just to balance it out. We've got some more houses over there, but we're going to be focusing now on the castle of Poddingfield, which is an excellent example of Stormlands architecture, and it's slowly becoming one of my favorite styles. And we've got these green slate roofs, which you'll find all over the Stormlands, as well as these dark spruce pointed roofs as well. And the sort of the main feature of Stormland style castles is they're covered in merlons and defensive embattlements and things like that, and these big stone hefty gates, thick walls, and of course you've got these lovely Stormlands blocks, which I explained to you before. We've got these different sandstone hues, as well as these Stormlands cobble there, and some mossy cobble blocks as well. Just going under here through this portcullis and this very hefty looking gate, we'll just be exploring in this outer yard here, which would be the outer yard of Poddingfield. Now I haven't explored this castle very thoroughly yet, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to get myself into, but we've got a nice little outdoor smithy here, of course, very important for any outer yard. We've got some practice dummies here, perhaps for melee or archery. We've got, looks like a big warehouse up here with this crane hoisting supplies into the castle's granaries. Alright, so I think if we just walk around here, we'll get into an upper bailey of the castle, which will be just through here, I think. Just another portcullis, of course, for defensive purposes. So this must be the upper bailey. But bailies is what happens when castles are sort of situated on two separate levels. You've got a lower bailey and an upper bailey, and that's sort of for defensive reasons, so that people in the upper bailey can attack anyone coming in through the castle through the lower bailey. Right, so here you can see some more of that beautiful Stormlands architecture, and so the detail and the relief that's been printed into the facade of the side of this keep here. It just all looks very nice, very pretty, and you can see, so those are sort of the colors of Peasebury there. The green and the yellow, of course, is for the Baratheons, who are still in control of these Stormlands. So just heading through here, we've got the Great Hall, which is great indeed. We've got these lovely chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, and the Lord's dais up here, which is actually quite modest for a noble house of the Stormlands, but I think the people of the Stormlands are not really all too fussed about finery like the Tyrells or the Reachmen are, so they're a little bit more about function than form, which is sort of says it all in their castles. They're all about sort of defensive capabilities more than anything else. Right, so we're going to try and find our way up through this keep here. Oh, here we are, getting into more some of the lush furnishing. We've got some painting, some carpeting in the colors of House Peasebury, and I think if I just follow these stairs up, we'll make our way through the castle, and hopefully we'll run into a Maester's Chambers, but no promises. We'll just see. Right, so just heading through here, we've got some lovely little storage rooms here, all kinds of stairs going up and down, and probably got some servants' quarters, and of course we've got all of these beautiful arrow slits built into the walls for defending against attackers. Oh, that's a little a lavatory in there, and you can almost see some of the poo going down the side of the castle. I do love sort of a realistic what do you call that? Sort of a chamber pot system where the poo is actually flowed. I should say sewage. I shouldn't say poo. The sewage is flown out of the castle, and you can see almost a hole leading outside, where eventually a gong farmer or a peasant or a servant will shovel it up and use it as fertilizer in the farmland surrounding the castle. Right. So let's see. We've got some servants' quarters. Looks like very modest, very tiny, cramped quarters. We've got a nice little feasting area, little perhaps a private dining area for the Lord and his direct family, and we've got a nice little kitchen here with some storage as well. All very, very nice. I got some stairs going even further down. I don't know if I want to go that far down. I know there are some caves below the castle as well. Won't have time for that, but I encourage you to /warp Poddingfield and take a look for yourself. There might be some Easter eggs down there. You never know. Whenever there's caves, there's always Easter eggs. I'll tell you that now. Anyway, heading along through the castle here. I know there's got to be some stairs somewhere. Oh, here's a nice little balcony. Very cool. Little balcony looking out over the lands of the Peaseburys. We can see some of those wheat fields and those pea fields down there, some cabbages as well. We've got, of course, a nice little windmill perched atop that hill there, of course, for grinding all of that wheat into flour. Right, and we got some full-length mirrors here as well. Oh, come on, stairs. Gotta be around here somewhere. Oh, I've got another very convincing sort of toilet in here, again with the hole sort of leading outside, getting all the sewage away from the castle, and perhaps it might be a good defensive tactic as well. You know, if someone's there, you know, just bombs away. That's definitely going to scare someone off. Right, found some stairs up Here we go. Right. Oh, cool. We're along this upper mezzanine now, which is very nice. And we've got this little gate here if we want to clamber down. Oh, I don't know about that, but that's quite cool. For people who might want to, if you're Bran inclined, you might want to climb around these castles. I'm sure there are other kids in Westeros who would love a bit of that. Right, so we want to keep going up. Do these stairs keep going up? Yes, they do. But we want to explore all the rooms in the way, because that's always more fun. Looks like we've got some noble chambers here. Of course, they must be. We've got the colors of House Peasebury as the canopy for this bed. Got a nice little side chamber here with a booming hearth. Not all the hearths have to be lit, but they tend to be as winter is coming, you know. We got some potted plants here. This looks like perhaps the Lord Solar, or perhaps just another bed chamber. Perhaps one of his sons, one of the Lord's sons, that is, or a knight protecting the castle and the family of Peasebury. This is an extensive castle, let me tell you. I'm finding more noble chambers than I've found in a long time. We've got another one in here. This maybe was that bar door that we saw before. Oh, we've got a nice little balcony out here. Yes, good. I love a good balcony. Always good for balconies, this castle is. Right, heading back out into this corridor here. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, for some more stairs going up. You never know. We'll probably find some. Yes, here we go. Up and up, just a little bit further up and up. Got some more noble chambers here. Oh, this is where we came out before, I see, but we're looking for more stairs. Yes, up and up and up. Oh, I think I see the peak of the roof here, so this may be the top of this tower. Oh no, it keeps going up! I just love some of these castles. They're just absolute labyrinths, but so fun to explore. This looks like the Lord Solar, actually. Got a nice big writing desk, some books to hold his records. Though most lords, to be fair, aren't the scholarly type, probably a bit more of the warmongering kind. You leave all the paperwork to the maesters, usually, or to the masters of coin for each castle. Oh, I found my way onto a rooftop. Amazing. So you can see some of the battlements here for defending the castle against attackers. Now, this is a castle bordering the lands of the Reach, so presumably in the days of old, when the Seven Kingdoms truly were Seven Kingdoms, they did have to defend themselves from attacking Gardeners or Tyrells or Florence or anyone from the Reach. So this was sort of the first line of defense for these mountains and for the southeastern Stormlands. Right, guys, I think that's where I'm going to end the video today. I'm just going to hop along these battlements and see if I can get a nice view of the surrounding area. Definitely a lot of fun to explore this build. It's definitely one of my favorites in the Stormlands. We've still got a lot of Stormlands builds that are work in progress, and I'll be for sure checking out those in the future. Right, oh, that looks like the town that we saw earlier on. Oh, no, actually, I don't think we even got there. See, that's a completely different town that we haven't even explored yet, and that's the main town of the castle, I think. So again, all of these builds that I check out and post on YouTube, there's so much more to explore, so please do log into our server and ask around, warp around, and just take a look at the incredible stuff that our builders have accomplished. Right, guys, so that is the end of episode 39. I hope you enjoyed this little peek into the Stormlands, and I'll be sure to do more videos in the future. Keep an eye out next time for episode 40. See you then.